I thought you might be wondering why my channel's called All My Sons and Daughters. I just wanted to read you something that I wrote that it might explain it to you a little bit better. It's in my journal, so I'm going to read it to you. I believe that every person is created in the image of God to be a part of this display of Himself on the earth. Not everyone knows it. Some may never know it in this life. However, those of us that have eyes wide open can see God in those people anyway. The epic story of Earth intertwines every life together to write an eternal story, unparalleled and unintelligible to the human mind. In some mysterious way, He allows us freedom to splash our individual parables across the pages of His story, history. In His passion to allow us freedom, He allows His children to make their own choices. And as they make their own choices, sometimes those choices hurt others. The person that's being injured is always in His care. He's always sitting there crying with them. Then He picks up all the pieces that are released to Him and creates an unparalleled mosaic. Still, He is often blamed for allowing this freedom because the blind sufferers often don't want to loose their brokenness into His healing hands. Still carrying around all those mismatched shards, they often become so injured that they become the perpetrator. And it is not until they see that even their failures can be written into the story of truth do they drop their colorful fragments of the pain caused by their offender into the hands of the healer. The treasured bits are then glued together with gold, making each individual mosaic more valuable by highlighting the triumphs of overcoming the past. These individual mosaics wallpaper the world, forming a fractal that is invisible to the visionless children. Those who have unburdened their broken pieces are free to celebrate the art of others. In contrast to celebrating the art of others, it is all too easy for us to subconsciously or even consciously stereotype people, to put them in a pretty little cage where we keep those who we feel we are somehow excused from loving. For example, we may think that everybody who lives on welfare is just milking the system and buying cigarettes and beer. And then you might be like me and be put in a position where a family member becomes disabled. And that is what you need to do. You need to have that to live on. And you need to stay home and take care of that broken family member. And you realize that that's not everyone's story. People can't be stereotyped. People deserve to be loved, no matter who they are, where they are, what they're doing, because they are created in the image of God. People are delightfully unique. You can't presume anything without really knowing them. Labeling them only divides, bringing harm to both parties. It may feel comforting, supplying self with someone to blame, defeat, or set straight, making me innocent, victorious, and right. But at the same time, it robs me of experiencing the treasure of seeing God in that person in a way that I would never see God any other way. I want to read you a quote out of a book that I've been reading recently. It's called Divine Nobodies by Jim Palmer. It says this: "Am I deriving value from being right politically, needing someone to be wrong? Does criticizing and blaming others serve to cover my own tracks of insult and injury in the world? Have I confused a war of words with rolling up my sleeves and actually doing something about all the issues and problems I claim to care about? maybe demonizing people out there distracts me from the demons of pride and selfishness within myself. In the 4th chapter of his New Testament letter, James asks, "What causes fights and quarrels among you?" Answer, they come about because you want your own way and fight for it deep inside yourselves. I'm wondering if set free from that struggle deep within for worth, purpose, significance, meaning, and love, I could see people more through God's eyes. Jesus said that God sent me to announce pardon to prisoners and recovery of sight to the blind, to set the burdened and the battered free. Maybe there's just one classification of people on planet Earth: imprisoned, empty, unfulfilled, broken people in need of the life only Christ can give. Deep down, we all want similar things. What if we united on our common ground, allowing ourselves to receive the innate value we have, being created in the image of God, and celebrating the beauty in each other? This is my inspiration for all my sons and daughters, to bring you snapshots of the lives of the sons and daughters of God. At the same time, I am coming out of hiding myself, to celebrate my own identity and value. Honestly, I didn't really like my first video that I made to introduce my channel, but I felt led to unashamedly post it anyway. Now I hope you can more fully understand the concept behind it and join me. Send me content celebrating yourself or someone you meet. As we all hear each other, we become more whole ourselves, more balanced, well-rounded, appreciative lovers of God and all His kids.